this meeting of the Festus City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer.
Here.
Councilman Collier.
Here.
Councilman Benz.
Here.
Councilman Cook.
Here.
Councilwoman Templeton. Here. Councilman Weiner.
Here.
Councilman Timmons.
Here.
Councilman Dennis.
Here. We do have a quorum. Pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Tonight's bills total $1,282,955.14. Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Collier.
Yes.
Councilman Benz.
Yes.
Councilman Cook.
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Yes.
Councilman Weiner.
Yes.
Councilman Tennant. Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes. Motion passes. Correspondence, city clerk.
The certified election results. Councilman Ward 1, Carl Weekly with 209 votes. Councilman Ward 2, Alan Joseph McCarthy, 312 votes. Councilman Ward 3, Tim Bennett Jr., 25. Jesse Cordova, 151. Robert Bobby Benz, 96. And Dan Moore, 273. Jason, 158. Charles Underwood, 104. Luke Adams, 14. And Rick Belleville, 527.
I will need a motion to accept the election results.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Hearing none, motion carries. The results have been accepted. I will entertain a motion to adjourn, sine die.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. A roll call, please.
Councilman Cook.
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Yes.
Councilman Weiner.
Yes.
Councilman Tennant.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Councilman Collier.
Yes.
Councilman Benz.
Yes.
Motion carries. We're going to swear in the newly elected officials. So if they would step forward to the front of the room, please.
Raise your right hand. Do you, Carl Weekly, Alan McCarthy, Dan Moore, and Rick Belleville solemnly swear that you possess all the qualifications for the office of the Festus City Council as prescribed by law, that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of the state affecting cities of this class, and the ordinances of the city of Festus, Missouri, and faithfully demean yourself in this office, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
And I will have each of you come up and sign for me.
Good job.
Picture? Picture.
Like face us?
Face you guys?
Carl?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I looked to the side of the room too. There you go.
Carl.
Now the work we're doing.
Act like you liked us,
Good job, Julie. Yeah, no.
There you go.
Yep.
Now I can get the lamp. Let's see what it's like. Now I'm sick of it.
Yeah. I think we had 10 or 12 on the list.
I need a motion to reconvene. Motion's been made and seconded to reconvene. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. We are reconvened. Our next business is to elect a mayor pro tem. At this time, I will take nominations for mayor pro tem.
Mr. Mayor, I make a nomination for Rick Belleville.
Nomination has been made from Rick Belleville.
Yes, I know.
And a second. And a, second. Motion's been made and seconded for Mike Cook, so we'll take a vote for Rick Belleville. All those in favor of Rick Belleville, say aye.
Aye.
We need a roll call.
Councilman Boyer. Councilman Beaker.
Yes.
Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Councilman Cook.
No.
Councilwoman Simpleton.
No.
Councilman
No.
Reddy. Councilman Belleville.
Yes.
Councilman Dennis.
No.
We have a 4-4 tie.
And then he'll say.
In that case, I get to vote, and I vote no.
Surprise, surprise.
We have a,
Good old boy network.
Don't get it.
we have a motion for Mr. Cook. And we had a second. So we'll take a vote. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Councilman Beasley. Councilman Moore.
No.
Councilman Cook?
Yes.
Councilwoman Singleton?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
No.
Councilman Belleville?
No.
Councilman Dennis?
Yes. 4-4 tie, I get to vote? Yes. Councilman Cook is the mayor pro tem. 4 down, 5 to go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a business meeting of the city council.
Of our city.
Of our city.
Remarks of visitors, Mary Flax.
Come on, Mary.
Good evening. Mary Fakes, 9 Cedar Brook, Festus. I'll begin with congratulations to the newly elected council members that ran on a no data center platform. We're looking forward to working hand in hand with you to stop this hyperscale data center from being constructed in our hometown. To clarify to Mayor Richards, who is possibly the only person in the universe who did not see the April 7th election as a referendum against the data center, please let me make this crystal clear. The election was a vote not only against the 4 defeated council members, it was also an indictment against the 4 remaining council members and you, sir. Yep. This is not over, and we're continuing to work to obtain signatures to recall the remaining seated gang of 9 and start with a truly clean slate. The citizens have continued to plead with the city through 962 planning and zoning complaint letters asking for a baseline assessment of their properties to allow, as allowed per Festus Ordinance Section 405.555. On April 9th, citizens started receiving a letter with sufficient legalese in an attempt to confuse citizens that stated in part is alleged by the person aggrieved that the use of land or structure creates or is likely to create or otherwise produce dangerous, injurious, or noxious elements. Please note the planning and zoning investigatory powers are triggered in this instance as citizens have alleged that the land use is likely to create or otherwise produce such conditions. Unlike what the legal response claims, therefore, we are demanding an immediate assessment of each complainant letter received by the city and to follow baseline actions prior to any land disruption of the current state, to include an environmental site assessment, a cultural resource investigation, to include an investigation of the grave sites, and a full report released to the citizens by the Festus Police Department, to include an explanation as to why this was not turned over to the Sheriff's Department due to an apparent conflict of interest of an established stakeholder, the Festus School Board President and Festus Police Chief Doug Windle, and the appearance that he cannot be considered impartial in this matter. A natural heritage investigation into the presence of endangered or protected species, and a hydrogeological investigation concerning water usage and future availability of all the complainants currently on a well as to water quality, well depth, and a written assurance that drilling a well for the data center will not adversely affect the homeowner's aquifer accessibility. A real estate valuation at current market levels completed by a source mutually agreed on by the city and parcel owner and paid for as per the ordinance by Festus to include the future impacts of a data center on our property. This baseline assessment is required before any construction or disturbance to the land begins, and according to the mayor, it's a done deal with CRG, and the citizens have no say. So which is it? What the Mayor Richards said on April 6th and 7th, or what the letter signed by Jim Walker said? It cannot be both. Pick A or B. Remember, we are not going away. We have garnered national news attention, and we are united in this front. We started as a small grassroots effort to fight against the dirty politicians that refuse to listen to citizens or recognize legitimate petitions. We will not let this go until CRG is out of our city.
Yeah.
To be clear, this all can go away immediately. I call on the new city council members to make a motion to rescind the following. Bill number 4876, the infrastructure agreement with CRG. According to paragraph Roman numeral 3A1, project termination due to your refusal to support and implement and return any unused funds, as well as Bill 4866 and 4867 from November, where residential and non-urban land was rezoned into industrial. If you recall, on that evening of November 24th, Ms. Templeton asked if in the future the city changes its mind, could this rezoning be reversed? And the answer was an overwhelming yes. So you do have the power today, with the media here watching, to stop the trillion-dollar companies from riding roughshod over small towns. Stopping the invasion of resource-drained mining corporations that have no regard for citizens or the environment from coming in and pillaging the land and building dangerous industrial plants. To our council members, along with Ms. Templeton, who voted no to Bill 4876, you have the majority and can immediately start the reversal and return Festus to its pre-August 25 state before CRG invaded our community. To paraphrase Captain John Paul Jones, when he was fighting the tyranny of the British Empire, we have not yet begun to fight.
Alexander Bischoff.
Paid propagandist.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I'd like to start by congratulating the four of you on your spectacular win. I'm not going to accuse you of election fraud. Like some of my predecessors in the Republican Party.
Can't hear you.
The microphone.
I'm not going to accuse you of bringing a single issue vote to the table, because that's what you've done, and you've done so very successfully, and that's why you're sitting in here sworn in. What I would like to do though is I'd like to speak as the minority, because I am now in the minority.
Always were.
This data center project affects the people of Festus, and as Jack Burns has agreed, also the people of Jefferson County, and the people of Missouri, and potentially the people of America. And that is a fact. We are involved in a war against China for AI supremacy. If you don't want to admit that, that's not my fault, it is a fact. So I quote what Bob Clark said today, and I bring it to your attention because you folks have the most awkward and awesome responsibility ahead of you. You're now going to be brought inside the tent. And as you did, Rick, you announced that you're going to now become party to an NDA. And that means you're not going to be able to talk about everything that happens in closed meetings to everybody here. And that's going to be difficult. It's going to potentially put you in conflict with the people who voted you. Because you don't only represent the 18% who voted for you, you actually represent the 72% of the citizens of Festus, and then the citizens of Jefferson County, and of Missouri, and of America. I don't know how you're going to make those decisions, but I do believe you'll make them with integrity, because you've all demonstrated that clearly. And so the issues that are going to be before you are, number one, utilities. Does this actually consume all the electricity and force the electricity bills up, or does it not? Secondly, the water. Is it going to gobble all the water out the wells, or is it going to take the water from the Mississippi River, as has been stated? Is it going to make a noise? My experience of water-cooled data centers is they are absolutely silent. But I've been to the data centers, and I'm hoping you will go to the data centers and you'll hear for yourselves whether they sound like hive buzzing bees, which that dreadful data center for the Bitcoin mine does, and I hope that an ordinance gets slapped on there soon. Are you going to look at the location and see that the high tension power lines actually go over that place, and that is the ideal place to drop the power down? Are you going to look at jobs and actually look at $6 billion worth of construction jobs? And lastly, are you going to look at the tax breaks, which the city approved and agreed that they are reasonable? This is an awesome job. I compliment you on your position, and I look forward to hearing your determinations as a board of 8 people and you, Sir Mayor. I wish you well and Godspeed.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your truth.
Nobody's through an email.
Sherman Doyle,
Better than usual.
6 Glen Court in Missouri. It is so good to see some new faces. We worked so hard to get up here, but we still have others that we have to get out.
Yes.
FYI, we're close. We're close.
Again.
So, I would like to state one thing before I actually say what I'm going to say. I find it very funny that we are now apparently rectifying the minutes from March 9th, in which it was found that this city put in an open meeting in those minutes with Steve Etcher in this very chamber right here where Mary's sitting. And I walked in that door right there, and they had no clue we were here. And now we're adjusting it to where it is a closed session, whereas those 79 minutes were actually open meeting. I'm not going to speak to it. I don't care. We're going to find out in discovery. So it's okay. You don't have to worry about telling us what happened. But the real reason for tonight, I'm here on behalf of the residents of Ashford Place and Glenkey Court. If you don't know where Ashford Place and Glenkey Court is, this is the neighborhood that is butted up to this potential site. So Bob Clark spoke today. I find it really funny going through that hour-long spiel of nothing.
Lies.
Yes, that would be a word. Lies. Because I am from Ashford Place, and I know what has happened and what has not happened. And if you're from Ashford Place, raise your hand.
Back here.
No, back here. Okay.
Back
Okay.
here.
Has anyone ever talked to Bob Clark or anyone from CRG? No. No one ever. Gotcha. Okay. Well, listen. Where's the camera? Where's the camera? Hey. So if Bob Clark is a man of integrity, and if he's got a backbone of any sort, he's going to meet us as Ashford Place / Glenkey. We do not adhere to what this city council, the defunct city council, because now you guys are in the minority, and you will be in the minority. So Bob Clark, Chris Carpetbag McKee, whoever wants to show up in Festus, name the time, the place, and whatever you want to put on your agenda, because we will not accept what's in that agreement. This city does not speak for us. The elected officials that were voted out unanimously on the 7th, they did not speak for me. And it should say something that's over 72% of every voter that went in on the 7th voted against the incumbent. Over 72% voted against the incumbent.
Yeah.
Now, you can mitigate that. I heard Bob Clark say today, I've heard people on this dais say, we don't really believe that is the voice of the majority. Well, you know, Bob Clark, he's in sales, right? He has to know how sales work. Well, guess what? You can only sell to who shows up. And over 72% of the people that showed up spoke their mind and said, we do not want this in our town. We do not want you representing us any longer. So for those of you that are still here, you have a chance. You can walk out with dignity. You can give up your seat, because if not, we're coming.
Yeah.
You hear that? That's fate. Do you want your name sullied for the rest of your life in this city, in this town that you've grown up in, that you've been with? I've heard so many stories about people outside of here. We've grown up with them. We have no clue. Why are they doing this? You have the opportunity to save yourself tonight, and tonight only.
That's it.
All you got to do is step away. Or you can flip. There is no pressure. Camp's gone. Half of everyone that you know on this board is gone. There is no pressure. You can live up to your word, and you can rectify this. If not, the reckoning is still here, and it's coming, and it will happen. This is not a done deal. I don't care who on this dais says it is. It's not. It's not. So, Bob Clark, Chris McKee, my name is Sherman Doyle. I live at 6 Glenkey. Missouri. Come find us. We'll talk to you.
Hard one to follow. Mike, Chief Paul.
on one of the disabled ones that try to get around town, that needs more on the ways of being careful, some of these drivers, is, you know, how some areas don't even have the signs for crossing. Well, especially like for highways, when I come up where Domino's is, or where the fruit market is, and then the two by that stoplight restaurant and McDonald's, how they don't have none of those signs in the first place. I was thinking if you had more of those blinking ones, because I've seen one somewhere, but how I think those would help more better, to help more on highway zones, and have people see when some areas are where they have to be more careful, watching out for some of us like me that tries to get around, and how the normal streets that need to be fixed up, like Main and Mill right there, how that's all ripped up, how those would to be more careful, because since on the side that Main and Mill restaurant is in that area where that fence is, how that part of the sidewalk doesn't have that orange or whatever color thing on that side, so how all that needs to be fixed up, and you need some more of those ways of those lines to help for crossing for the normal streets, because there's hardly any of those like they have for the schools. And since it makes it, when I trip sometimes over those areas and I fall over some things I don't see. So I thought of telling you something I thought would sound better, of having more of the color on the edges for going for crossing zones. And that way I wouldn't get in the street zone if you had more safer on the line going straight from one side to the other. So something I know of what's needed more, thinking of what, even how I know when kids usually have to walk from school and stuff, because I've seen it on Main Street since I walk around that area a lot, and how that would be more easier for them to have more if they watched it too, when they have to be more careful somehow, so they don't have any of those accidents. So something I thought, tell me what I thought would be more appropriate, of helping out for families and other ways for disabled people like myself, and having it more easier, because even I'm starting to have trouble seeing when people are using their signals, because I'm not seeing those good. And when you're not seeing their signals, that's where it's getting twice as harder on which way they're going. So something I thought of, let you know what I thought would be better to help people more of knowing around town. And that would be more easier for the kids, so the parents don't have to worry. So that's why I know all these kids. I walk also, like if you had, where Scenic meets Mill, if you had more over going up that way as well, having those kind of sidewalks up that way a little more too, because then if you're coming from where Mill ends to where that leads up to where the apartments are, and going up to that water tower, how that way it'll make it more easier. We're making it much easier for me and others who ever live around there to get around as well. So something I thought that would be good for all over at least. Thinking of other people instead of myself. I thought it would be a good thing for you all to know about.
Crosby Doyle.
Hello, my name is Crosby Doyle, and I live at Ashford Place 6 Donkey Court in Festus, Missouri. I'm here to represent us kids who will be affected by the state data center, and I'm here to give you guys a good point of view of us kids at Ashford Place. Every day, me and my friends play in the nice fresh air by walking around the neighborhood, playing games outside, or even or even exploiting words. But you will destroy that peace by adding this nonsense. And my parents have not only collected for, but also Ashford Mills who feel they have no choice but to move because of this data center. And my parents always enjoy nature with all the birds, trees, deer, and other wildlife. But with the data center, it will just make the woods disruptive and annoying. Goodbye peace, hello big tech. As for us kids, we have to go to sleep every night and we'll probably be listening to the sound of a constant train going through our once quiet neighborhood. And the domino effect could easily lead to a lot of things for us, including less sleep, lower grades, and less energy, not just for students, but also for teachers. Including myself, I don't want to move again because of a building being built in the wildlife. I've also been learning about how people are affecting the environment, and this data center will only make it worse. Please consider this for the future decisions and make better choices for our town and yourselves.
John Yeomans.
Good politicians.
Who's not there?
John Yeomans, 921 North Hill Street, Festus. Well, here we are. I apologize to the four newest members of the council as this speech was not intended for them. However, I will continue for the benefit of the four remaining old guards, the mayor, and the public. I heard that 6 to 7% voter turnout in a non-presidential April election is about average for Festus. I also heard that 10% is a good year. Well then, what would be a great year? For the sake of ease, let's assume there are 14,000 people who live in incorporated Festus. I counted the total number of votes for councilmen across all four wards and got 2,124 votes. That means with 14,000 people, just over 15% of the total population of Festus voted on the April 7th election, and they voted out the four incumbents by huge margins. A couple of days later, the lawsuit breaks, and we hit the national news. A day later, the city delivers one of the best gifts they could give to the recall efforts by accidentally screwing up the treasurer election, you know, the money person. When money's been the number one incentive for the city in this whole process. Just real quick, to the room. How big of a coincidence do we believe in here? So, I should feel happy, right? We're making
Not very
real
nice to the
change.
treasurer.
Democracy is manifesting, and we have a better chance than ever to save our town from this bad deal. But I don't feel happy. I feel something else. I feel something that has washed over me since Thursday while driving home from the lawsuit announcement. It wasn't anger. I let go of that already. It wasn't fear or anxiety either, as they're the constant companions of many of us who've been involved with this since the beginning. No, what I felt was sadness. I'm sad that after 9 months of begging and pleading and crying, falling on deaf ears, mostly deaf ears, that resulted in blowing away a combined 57 years of council experience in one fell swoop. That may be a victory for the anti-DC folks in our town, but it's heartbreaking. It signals a complete breakdown of communication and democracy in our government. I spent my whole life in this town. My grandparents lived, died, and are buried here. My mom grew up on West Main. I grew up a few blocks from Town Hall where I still live, and I went to Festus R6, K through 12, and I've watched this town grow with my own eyes. I've seen the revitalization of downtown. I know that the four former councilmen, the current old guard, and the mayor have done good for this community. I know it because I've lived it. And this is what it amounts to? Ignoring the public, lying to the public, meeting behind closed doors with developers, which I have video proof of, so, that was kind of a lie back then as well, and doing everything in your power to go against the people, only have your leadership positions stripped away in the most dramatic fashion possible. They're gonna write, should have moved farther south or west or somewhere on Bobby Vince's tombstone. This is gonna be the legacy of those 57 combined years of experience or more. And it's unbelievably sad. It's sad that it had to come to this and that we've been dealing with this for so long. So let's just end this. According to the framework the city signed with CRG under Section 3, Subsection A, Article 1, Paragraph I, the city can, with 15 days' notice, submit a written refusal to cancel the deal. A refund process follows, but since we forked out over 20 grand for the negotiator ourselves, I don't think we're going to refund CRG very much. It's as simple as, in my view, one of you calling for a motion to vote on canceling the deal, another of you to second it, and only 5 of you to say yes. I know 4 councilmen who would probably say yes, and all we need is one more. One person who's seen their mistake made and wants to start fixing things in this community. It would only take 5 of you to say yes, so all of us can be heard when we say,
No data center!
Clayton Kyman.
Clayton Kyman, 12407 Red Ledger Lane, DeSoto, Missouri. I'm new to this fight against the hyperscale data center, but I am no stranger to corruption and conspiracy that harms the community. I grew up in Ferguson, Missouri, just a few miles away from a mountain of radioactive dirt from the Manhattan Project. North St. Louis County residents have been fighting a similar battle for decades. Since 1942, the Mountain Crack Corporation has been poisoning the soil, water, and air in North St. Louis County. This has led to the deaths, very slow, painful deaths, of tens of thousands of citizens of North County, Missouri, including my grandparents and my father. The enemy in this fight might be different, but the conflict is the same. If this was still 1942, you would have gotten away with it. Thankfully, we live in a digital age where we can spread information and raise awareness to fight your machine of corruption. The only talking point for anyone that is for the data center is financial. I listened to a press conference today and I heard every synonym in the book for money. But how do you convince the public if we don't care about the money? If we want our health and our lives, the money doesn't matter. Even if the revenue was significantly higher and we were getting a direct handout from CRG, I still wouldn't want this data center. You were attempting to kick people out of their houses to build a 360-acre parasite. There is no price on our homes, there is no price on our wildlife, there is no price on our water, there is no price on our peace, there is no price on our health, there is no price on our future, and there is no price on our lives. Jefferson County is not for sale. This is the message from the people of Festus and Jefferson County, and it should be the message from its leadership. Instead, we have a coalition of cowards who bowed down to a big corporation and accepted the first offer they received. These backdoor business meetings and underhanded deals are textbook plays from these companies, and it's happening all over the country. If data centers are so great, ask your friends at CRG how close they live to a data center. Texas farmers are pushing to halt data centers due to the overconsumption of water. The state of Maine is on the verge of passing legislation banning all data centers until they have a chance to do more research on their contamination. All over the country, communities are struggling from blackouts over data centers' power consumption. Did any of you research any of these problems before you took any of your votes? We have such a small sample size for what these data centers do to the environment, but the information is conclusive that they are detrimental to the ecosystem around them. Thankfully, the people of Jefferson County are far more intelligent and resourceful than its leadership. Mayor Sam Richards, you have the habit of lying when Fox 2 interviews you. Most recently, you told them that we can't stop this data center because you already signed the contract. I guess that you didn't read it very well, so I made this shirt just for you because I'm currently wearing the termination clause in the contract that you signed. Just so you, all of your comments, and anybody that believes you can see that we have a means to end this nightmare. And I'm curious, do you really still think that the majority of Festus residents want a data center after the results of last week's election? Are you still trying to peddle that lie to us? It should be very clear that we have the numbers to vote all of you out. We've already defeated 4 of you, and to be honest, I don't even know if they're Republican or Democrat because it didn't matter. Their campaign only needed one sentence: I do not support the data center. Make no mistake, we will get the recall signatures, we will get the rest of you out of power, we will invoke the termination clause, we will give CRG back their blood money, and we will tell them to find somewhere else to build this monstrosity. CRG is not wanted in Jefferson County. If any of you council members have any intelligence or self-respect, you will read the writing on the walls and end this yourselves. You can still do the right thing and make this easier on everybody by just terminating the contract now. The fight is already gaining national attention. People are taking note of what is going on here. Do you want to be remembered as politicians that are famous for coming to their senses, listening to what their people want, and doing the right thing? Or would you rather be defeated by a sideshow of uneducated people?
Larry Yeomans? Get back.
My name's Mary Yeomans. I live on North Fourth Street. And I would like to start by congratulating the 4 new members.
Yeah.
Your honesty and hard work have paid off. I'd also like to thank the 4 that got voted out. I mean, I'm sure they did some good things for the city. I mean, we are getting an Olive Garden. Some of the big leaps the city of Festus has had. The community came together and we made history. Everyone is talking about Festus. I have never been so proud to live in the city of Festus. And then, just when I thought nothing could get any shadier, we are told that you or someone forgot about the treasurer election. Now, no offense to Ms. Eisenbach, I do not know her. But it looks bad that we didn't get to vote for the money person. Yeah. All we've talked about is money, 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 money. People are going to think something pretty shady's going on. Yeah. It looks bad. I hope it was an honest mistake. But our small minds hear little old Festus. Our minds wander. Mine did. What are we hiding? But anyway, I move on. I would like to ask Mr. Boyer, Ms. Templeton, Mr. Cook, and Mr. Dennis to go ahead and step down from your positions. Yeah. And let this town start the healing process and move on with a new council. And to you, Mr. Richards, aren't you tired yet? So do us all a favor and end this circus now and move on. The recall is coming. And karma is a bitch.
Dave Cotton.
Dave Cotton, 11764 Kingston Drive, Festus, Missouri. Look at all these new faces.
Yeah.
It's exciting because pretty soon we're going to see 5 more new faces. Congratulations to all the council members. We are glad that you're here. It was an unprecedented election, and I know that all but 9 of the people in Festus woke up last Wednesday morning feeling pretty good. Thank you for the work and time and conversations that you each put into your campaigns. So my parents raised me to care about my community, to give time where I could, to make the world around me a better place. They burned into my heart the idea, some would call it a commandment, that I love my neighbor as myself. That is my motivation for why I am here today. That is my motivation for why I am part of this movement. To love my neighbors as much as myself. I know that rings loudly in the hearts and minds of all the people behind me. Now, I've always had this fantastical notion that when a person takes up the calling of being a public servant, that they should approach their duty with an exaggerated version of that idea. To serve the public around you is your real-world opportunity to show your care and concern for your community that you're a part of, to make thoughtful choices that are going to benefit your town, your chance to protect the people how you would want to be protected, to love all your neighbors as yourself. I hope that is a thought that you new council members will weigh against every choice you make while in these seats. I hope that is part of your motivation for being here today. Because some men seek public office for themselves. It can offer a lot of power, personal gain, and legacy. Those are strong motivators, so I think we can all understand that. I can only speak for what motivates me, and I believe that to be true for all of you. We can only know what motivates ourselves. So So I don't speak for what motivates you, Sam. That is between you and who you pray to, and maybe the CRT accountants. Something we were all reminded of this past week, though, is that the real power lies in the hands of the people. Something we've seen in this growing movement against this mess that you brought us to is that this town and community surrounding it, it is speaking now with a voice that gets louder every day. Our personal gain is that we can now see our love for our neighbors. Something I know for sure, watching this movement rise up, becoming a part of it, is that it's only going to get larger and more powerful, and it will not stop until we finish it. Your legacy, Sam, will be the disgraced former mayor of the town that showed the rest of this country how to stand up for itself.
Go, Devil Dog. Travis Layton.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, members of the council.
Good evening.
I wanted to start by saying the planning and zoning complaint form letters that you're giving back to people, you know, we expected that response from the city. It's just an attempt to ignore and blow off the citizens. It's part of your playbook to ignore the effects of the data center. It's so obvious, everybody sees right through it. You get the generic boilerplate template letters everybody got, regardless of which specific concerns they had. It wasn't tailored to their specific complaints or concerns. It was just everybody got the same letter. So it's kind of phony, really, if you think about it like that. And speaking of playbooks, the further along we get into this, and the more we start talking with people going through the same thing, and you know, Warrenton, Montgomery County, other places through Missouri, other cities like Wilmington and Trenton, Ohio, people all over the U.S. are going through this. The playbook's really becoming obvious. I mean, what are the odds that people in Wilmington, Ohio are getting called a vocal minority? I mean, who's ever heard that term before in their life? But yet people across the country that don't want this garbage in their communities are getting called these weird terms. You know, at some point it's not a coincidence. Another thing I wanted to bring up is the comment we hear over and over, there's no behind closed door meetings. I mean, what is this picture look like? There's closed sessions. This is a closed door meeting. It happens all the time. There's not been any transparency. And it's nice to see that Festus is gonna be the example for all other communities to follow. Good job, Festus.
Sarah Denges.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Dinges, and I live at 503 Skyview Terrace in Festus, Missouri. I'm speaking tonight, first of all, to congratulate our newly elected members. This election was not a routine turnover. It was a clear and decisive response from the community. Residents made their voices heard in a significant way, particularly around the proposed data center and how decisions surrounding it have been handled. I want to say, first of all, within 2 days of finding out you guys won the election, you were already saying, come on down to Central Tap and meet us and hang out with us. Like, that's the kind of accessibility and willingness to listen that our community needs right now. I hope that becomes the standard moving forward. More accessible, more honest, more willing to listen and act on what you hear. At the same time, this is happening, the ongoing legal action involving the city reflects these concerns that we have are not just isolated. They're serious, and they represent a level of frustration that's grown over time, a short amount of time, but time. Together, these developments point to something bigger than any one project. They point to a need to rebuild trust. You can do that through transparency, open communication, and meaningful public engagement. I appreciate being able to come here and comment. But this is not engagement. This is not a dialogue. This is us talking at you. It's not meaningful. Other than that, I get to hear my voice, which I don't particularly care to hear. So, moving forward, I respectfully ask the City Council to take these 3 specific actions. Number 1, commit to full transparency. Someone mentioned that we have newly elected officials who now will be in the fold of signing an NDA. But I was under the impression you guys didn't sign an NDA, that no one signed an NDA. And Greg Camp said specifically, no one signed an NDA in December. So between December and now, has that happened? Has there been an NDA signed? I didn't think so. And so that makes me, because that makes me feel a little bit more hopeful that you guys haven't signed that. So commit to full transparency, and you can do this by making all agreements, communications, and studies related to the data center easily accessible to the public without us having to pay for that information. Second, press the pause button. Pause any further decisions. Pause any further commitments. Take a moment to realize that, was it 72% of the voters voted for people who ran on no data center? Like, that's saying something. So pause. Use this time to let the legal process play out. There's ongoing litigation. The community has to have meaningful opportunity to be heard. So my third one is to establish a clear and ongoing process for community engagement, such as a public forum. I've said this before, I really do. I wish we could have a time where we can talk together, have a dialogue, not me monologuing. I really want to have a time where I can ask you a question and you can tell me yes or no. I know that's not something that this platform can do. So hold a town hall, hold a public forum, a Q&A, a workshop, anything where we can have our answers and we can ask questions and feel heard. They're not unreasonable requests. Communities do this all the time. They're the foundation of good governance, and they're clearly what this community is asking for. You've heard the voters, we've spoken, we have not been quiet, and we have not been ambiguous. We've asked for a different approach, one rooted in transparency, accountability, and respect for the people who live here. So, tonight marks a transition, and with that transition comes a choice. You have 2 options here. You can move forward in the same way. I tell my students, if you always do what you've always done, you're going to continue getting what you've always gotten. So you can continue doing what you've been doing, and you're going to continue getting what you've been getting. Or take this opportunity to reset. Listen more closely.
Ma'am, your time is up.
Listen more closely. Okay. Engage more openly and lead in a way that truly reflects the will of the community.
Matt Drennan.
Good evening, my name is Matt Drennan and I live in Festus. First I want to congratulate and welcome the newly elected council members taking office tonight. A lot of people are hoping this meeting marks a new chapter for Festus, one with more transparency, more accountability, and more respect for the public. Because public trust has been damaged. It has been damaged as a result of this data center debacle. On March 30th, the city approved a major development agreement for a massive project without an identified end user. Still to this day, we heard from Bob Clark today that there's no end user identified. Residents have already raised serious concerns about water, power, noise, setbacks, emissions, and long-term protections. Those concerns were not minor, and they were not resolved or addressed. Then the voters spoke, and now the matter is in litigation, and the community has started recall efforts. It is a sign that trust has been broken down. And what matters tonight is this: nothing has changed since March 30th on the vote. The end user is still unidentified, the same protections are still missing, the same risk to the cities and its residents are still there. The weaknesses in both the development agreement and the city's data center ordinances have not been cured. And once again, the mayor's approach in exposing the city to risk instead of protecting it from risk. I also think it's important to say this plainly. Some of the issues now being raised in this new lawsuit are not new. When this rezoning was first proposed, I raised concerns specifically about the basis for moving forward with this project. From a zoning perspective, it was arbitrary and capricious in the way the decisions were made. So when residents now challenge this process and the city's actions, that should not be treated like some surprise that came out of nowhere. These were warned about risks from the beginning. Tonight's agenda also includes another issue that goes directly to trust, the treasurer appointment. According to the city's memo, the treasurer election was not held because notice was not timely provided to the county clerk. As a result, no election happened, and now the proposal is to delay elections until April of 2027. That should concern every voter in this city. Administrative failure by the city should not deprive the voters of the rights to choose that office for another full year. At a minimum, the public deserves an explanation of what happened, when it was discovered, who was responsible for ensuring the notice was given, and why the proposed solution is to delay the vote rather than restore it as soon as legally possible. And this is why I'm asking the new council to a fresh start. My request is release all correspondences, release all communications, studies, submissions, and due diligence materials related to the data center. Let the public see the full record. Let the public see what was submitted, what was reviewed, and what was relied on, and what was left unresolved. It will be telling one way or the other. Because transparency is not a slogan, transparency means opening the file. If this council wants to rebuild trust, that is where it starts. Not with more assurances after the fact, broken promises that I've seen personally. Let's start with disclosure now. You've inherited a city with a trust problem. You now have a chance to begin fixing it. Ask harder questions, demand real answers, make the record public. And when the public's right to vote has been affected, do not accept delay as a default solution. Festus does not need more damage control. It needs to reset towards openness, accountability, and public trust. Thank you.
We'll move on to bids. We have a bid for evidence locker bid. Chief?
Yes, tonight in front of you I have a bid for new intake evidence lockers for our evidence room. The current lockers we have are original to the building. They are increasingly hard to get open from inside. So what these are, they're pass-through lockers. They put it in the front, lock it, and then you go to the back side, they're able to open it up. The mechanisms are not functioning properly anymore, making them hard to open. Plus, they are substandard to what we currently need. This new set also will have refrigerated storage in it. Right now, we have a mini fridge for all of our blood draws and sexual assault kits that we lock with a padlock. This is a locking system built into the main, and it has 6 lockers for that as opposed to 1. So if we take something in on the weekend, we do not have to call somebody in to empty that locker ahead of time. Another issue this has, if officers burn right now, if they burn 1 DVD and drop it into evidence, it takes up an entire evidence locker. This new system will have a mail drop system that is not accessible from the front other than to put things in. So that way when they have these, they can put multiple DVDs, whatever, into that one locker so it doesn't take up a full locker or something like that. We did go with state bid pricing through Bradford Systems. And the cost to replace the evidence lockers is $28,129.23.
And this is, you budgeted how much?
Yes, we budgeted $60,000 originally. We had planned on maybe doing a few more lockers in our original budget, but we were able to scale that back whenever they gave us the feature for the mail slot addition, because that way we could put more into one locker. We didn't need to add a whole nother bank of lockers.
Is there any questions?
Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
Okay.
Myself and another councilman requested to go with the chief to get a better understanding of what this exactly is, but we were not allowed. I'd like to offer to table this until we can go and meet with him and he can explain better. I have just a description, it's not telling me what's happening, and I would like to have a better understanding exactly what his needs are. There might be something else to the conversation that will help further with additional situations that the police department needs our assistance on.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
So I have a comment with this as well. So I appreciate you, Chief Wendell, being open to meet with me today, and Rick. But I received a text from you today saying that you were prevented from talking with me because the mayor said you could not talk to me because I was not sworn in. I have a big problem with that from a transparency standpoint as a citizen of the city and as now a duly sworn in council member. I don't believe it was proper for me to be denied to see, doing my due diligence along with Rick, what current locker was there. And I appreciate you allowing me to do that, and I know that you couldn't. But according to the mayor, you could not talk to me or answer questions because I wasn't sworn in, and that concerns me. Does that mean that you can't talk to any citizen because they're not an elected official?
In a situation of taking somebody down to show that situation on a bid, I would say we would probably not do that with just any normal citizen, no.
Sure, I understand that, but you were going to until the mayor said not to. And I find that a problem. So I am moving to the latest.
What problem do you find? The fact that I'm the mayor and I make decisions for the police department?
With all due respect, Mr. Mayor, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for you and your position, but from a transparency standpoint, which I was elected to do from Ward 3, that is a problem. And I'm asking that we table this until now that I'm sworn in. And I appreciate Mr. Wendell taking me down there to see the current setup. $28,000 might seem a little to some people, but it's a lot to a lot of people out there, and I want to make sure that I do my job as a councilman.
Not in Kansas anymore, Sam.
What's that?
You're not in Kansas anymore.
Serve us.
Earn our trust back. Earn our
Trust
back. Earn our trust.
Is there any legal reason why we can't take people downstairs, and the fact that they hadn't been sworn in? I mean, evidence is evidence.
It was just merely, sorry.
Talking to them. Let me finish. So, other than you think the mayor told him he couldn't do it, is there any explanation that you can see on a legal basis?
I mean, it's a security facility, so I understand the chief's explanation that he wouldn't take someone down there that didn't have lawful authority to be there yet. And I understand the councilman's concerns, but the fact of the matter is, until he's sworn in, he's not officially a city official. Chief, I don't know about you, I see no reason why we couldn't table this, and their concerns can be addressed in the interim unless you have some urgency.
Yes, the reason it came tonight is because we've been, obviously, meetings up till now. There is quite a long lead time with this, so we were just trying to get it done. It's gonna be a 4 to 5 month lead time to get these installed, so that's gonna be pushing the end of our budget, but we should be able to make it work.
By not proceeding at this point, is there going to be any financial repercussions? Is it going to cost us more?
No, it will not cost us any more.
This year, so our budget starts in October, so we don't have a January one budget. We have October for our budget.
I will entertain a motion to table this.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Chief, couple weeks. Do we have any ordinance or resolutions? Get into new business. Festival requests by the Twin City Chamber of Commerce. There are 3 requests. One for Twin City Days, September 12th, 2026. Main Street Trick or Treat Spooktacular, October 4th, 2026. And the Christmas Parade, which is November 30th, 2026. I'll entertain a motion to, Michelle?
I'm not doing that one. That's not me, Mayor.
Okay. Is there any discussion? I will entertain a motion to approve the festival request by the Twin City Chamber of Commerce. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. We have a festival request by the Festus Main Street Association for the Festus Art and Music Festival, May 2nd and 3rd, 2026.
That's me.
Okay, Mayor.
So it's the, kind of the same thing, but different. We're expanding it to 2 days. Have music all day on Saturday and then the art on Sunday. As far as you folks, I don't know if you've ever been down for the art festival on Sunday. We wanna close the street down. We're gonna have a big stage set up at Briarton, bands all day on Saturday. We are gonna have a pub crawl that day too. I have already talked to the chief about everything, so if you have any questions, here I am.
Did you make arrangements with the people at church?
Yeah, I already talked with them.
So you got that all squared away?
Yep.
I make the motion. It's always been great to us. It's good. Motion's been made.
Second.
And seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. You can have your next thing, we have a liquor license transfer request. We have a staff report. What this amounts to, yes. What this amounts to is that the Home Service Oil Company ownership has changed. As of July 1st, 2025, David Mangeldorf has sold 100% of his controlling shares to Zachary Mangelsdorf of 33 East Temper Drive, Edwards, Colorado, 81632. Basically, they have 2 Expressmark locations at 999 Gannon Drive and 801 Collins Drive. So all they're doing is transferring their license from father to son. Do you have any problem with that, Chief?
No problems at all, sir.
Okay. Is there any questions?
Mr. Mayor, I have just a simple question. Maybe I'm not up to date on the liquor license thing. But if they sold it in July of 2025 and they're coming to us now in April, have they been operating without a proper license, or was it like grandfathered because it was father-son? How's that work?
In that situation, I believe they already had their liquor license. The new liquor license comes due, I think, in June. And it expires in June. So what it was, they were operating off of the other one, but now it's time to apply for this year's liquor license. So that's why they're applying in the son's name, since he is now the sole owner of the business.
Okay.
So we will approve the temporary, they go to the state, and this will be the same with the next one coming up. We normally approve a temporary license for them. They go to the state, get their state license, and then after that, they will get their official license from the city of Festus.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate the explanation.
You're welcome.
I'll entertain a motion to approve. Okay, do we have a second? Second. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. We have a new liquor license request for Prime Time Sports Pub. Do we have a?
They're in the audience, sir.
All righty. Go ahead, sir. Could I have your name and address, please?
Raz Miku, we're Prime Time Sports Club.
I'm Chris Montgomery.
What do we got here?
We have 420 West Main Street, we're a sports pub.
Okay, that's the white building down at.
Yeah, correct.
It was the old what? What was it? It was
It
the
was
furniture
originally Dr.
store.
Jamal's
and,
office.
Okay, the realtor place. Chief, do you have any problem with this?
No, I've met with the gentleman already. They operate a fine establishment already in Imperial, Missouri. They're wanting to branch out and open up a sport pub in our area. And like I said, this is just, they have to have an agreement from the city of Festus before they can apply for their state license. So tonight, what we're asking, if you would just issue them a temporary license depending upon their approval from the state liquor board. That will allow them to apply to them, and once they get their license from there, then we will officially send them a full license.
Is there any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I have a simple question. When liquor licenses are issued for Main Street and Main Street operations, is there a shut-off time where the different businesses have to be closed and off the street, or are they able to stay open until 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that?
They were able to stay open until 1:30 technically for their state liquor license. We don't have an end time other than that, so they can stay open until that if they so choose.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to understand that process a little bit.
Is there any other discussion? I'll entertain a motion to approve the liquor license, new liquor license for Prime Time Sports Pub.
Perfect. Thank you.
We look forward to being a part of Festus.
They haven't voted for.
I need a motion. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. You got it.
Thank you guys, really excited to be a part of Festus.
Also, I do have one question. We have a festival coming up on May 2nd. If we're not, we won't be ready to go inside, but can we get a festival or a picnic permit license and operate on the patio?
You'll have to come back for that.
Okay.
Okay.
It depends on location, right? How far out they are.
I mean, they wouldn't be able to do anything liquor-wise due to the fact that you don't have the official license from the state yet.
Can we network
But-
and
Do what?
just so we can just go and meet the people that are coming by?
You can apply for a picnic. I mean, if you're doing food or something, you can apply for a picnic license.
Perfect.
But I mean, if you just wanted to be there and talking to people, that, you wouldn't need anything for that. But you wouldn't need actual come back prior to there to get approval for a picnic license or to sell food or anything.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you guys, appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Love you, old man.
Thank you. Festus Main Street Association.
Hello, City Council, Mayor
Congratulations to the new people that are on here. I look forward to working with you guys over the next couple of years. I'm the president of the Festus Main Street Association. You guys already spoke with Michelle a little bit ago about our 2-day music and art festival. I applied for a permit to put a banner over Main Street to advertise that event, and I was told that there's nothing in the codes to approve that, and I have to come talk to you guys to get a banner over Main Street. I currently own a building at 238 East Main Street, and it has a cable already going across Main Street that's over 20 feet high. The banner I have, if you want to see, is 2 foot by 4 foot, and I want to see if we can hang that up to advertise our events.
Can we see the banner?
While we're looking at the banner, Jimmy, haven't we put banners up there across the street by the library?
We, excuse me, thank you, we normally don't, permit any of that. That would be more driven probably towards the, fire chief, police chief.
Seems like we put stuff across there.
I think originally there was a place by the library they could, but I don't think those poles are safe anymore.
I don't even know if they're there anymore. I think when they came through on phase 1 of Main Street, I think they removed them for sidewalks and things.
We have there's 3 buildings that currently have cables going across Main Street now, and I'm one of them, and then I'm friends with the other 2. They are over 20 feet high, they've been there for years. There's no electricity, they're not holding up the buildings, they're made for banners. And so, we'll see if we can hang them on one of those.
Question, Jimmy or Chief, so the cable's been there for a while, let's think about liability situations, how do we verify those people with wind resistance for storm, everything else? I'm worried about liability, so.
Yeah, I mean, that would have to be something that typically an engineer or something would have to sign off on. We have no way of knowing how strong it would be.
So I did want to add something here. Typically, we have not been allowing crossings on Main Street since the extension cord that was put up a few years ago, and it took down some of our lights. So as long as we are exceeding the heights, I think this can be done so long as we can have some sort of insurance form for this turned into us.
Okay, would Festus Main Street's insurance or my building insurance, or what would you?
Who would be submitting the permit?
Festus Main Street Association.
Can we have somebody look at that though? I'm still afraid, I think somebody asked me something, maybe it's got to be game. I'm not against it, but as he said, no, it's not for a while, I think we're better off to have somebody look at it.
That's my, could Michael and Jimmy get with this man and try to work it out, figure out something?
Absolutely, I'd be glad to look. And just so you know, 20 feet is usually the height requirement for electrical lines, so just an FYI on that.
Yeah, so just give Jimmy and we'll go from there.
Okay, that'd be fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a picnic liquor request from Edgecliff Winery for the Festus Art and Music Festival, May 2nd. Do we have somebody here from Edgecliff Winery?
Oh, they're coming to the Art and Music Festival. I don't know that I can answer any questions, but.
So they're not a business on Main,
I'm sorry?
They're not a business on Main and
They are
just
not,
wanna
they're out of
participate in the
Potosi.
festival?
They wanna participate in the festival, they're in Potosi, they will be set up at like, Adams and Main. Yeah, and they would just have it at 10. I think we've done that before for, Sean's has been down there before, and there may have been another one too, I don't remember. But I know we've had wineries at the festival on Sunday before, and they'll be there on Sunday during the art walk part of it.
Police department has no issues with it. As long as they have their state license through theirs that they can show, I have no issue with the picnic license with them.
Okay.
They would just need the layers to do it?
Yes.
will allow them to apply to the state. It's gonna be time crunch, but we should do a good job.
Is there any other discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
Okay.
In regards to it being described as a, winery, I know that in some communities, they have, conditional license for beer and wine versus hard liquor. Do we make a distinction for something like that?
Normally, we do not know.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve the picnic liquor request for Edgecliff Winery.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Let them know what they have to do.
All right.
Okay?
Thanks, everyone.
Now we have a presentation and acceptance of the fiscal year 2025 audited financial statements. Michelle, you're up.
Okay, thank you, Mayor and City Council. It's an honor. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor and the City Council and the newly elected. Congratulations. Tonight in your packet, you should have had the audited financial statements. Did any of the newly elected able to review that? No, okay. So I'll kind of just give a little brief summary here. The audited financial statements are online under Finance Department, so you can get them there. The city's audited financial statements were for the fiscal year that ended 9/30/2025. It was completed by an independent auditor and was presented to the mayor and city council prior to this meeting, also included in the packet. Up for review, discussion, and formal acceptance into the city's official records for tonight. The audited financial statements were previously distributed, I guess I already said that. I'll give you a little bit of a background. The city engages an independent external auditor to perform our annual audit of our financial statements in accordance with generally accepted accounting standards. The audit includes an evaluation of the city's financial statements, internal controls, and compliance with applicable laws and regulations. The auditor has issued their opinion on the financial statements for the period ending 9/30/25. It should be noted that the audit does include a qualified opinion related to solely to other post-employment benefits under disclosure under GASB 75. This qualification is limited to disclosure requirements and does not impact the city's financial position, cash balances, or operations. The independent audit issued a qualified opinion stating that except for the OPEB disclosure matter, the city's financial statements present fairly in all material respects. The financial position of the city for the fiscal year ending 9/30/25 in accordance with the generally accepted accounting principles. Just a few highlights. The city continues to maintain strong financial reserves consistent with its adopted policy target of approximately 39% of operating expenditures on a combined basis. That's the general fund, police fund, and fire fund. Actual combined reserves exceeded that policy target, reflecting conservative budgeting and strong revenue performance. Revenues for the fiscal year 2025 performed above expectations, while expenditures remained below budget due primarily to the timing of capital projects and operational efficiencies. The city continues to demonstrate sound financial management, maintaining structural balance while supporting capital investment and operational needs. The audited financial statements are prepared by management and are audited by an independent third party. As such, the financial statements are not subject to approval by the city council. However, presentation in an open meeting promotes transparency and provides the governing body with the opportunity to review and discuss the results. Therefore, I'm opening it up for discussion. If anybody has any questions. Otherwise, if you do have questions, you're more than welcome to email me, stop by my office, and I can go through the financial reports with you.
Mr. Mayor, I have a couple of questions. Can I address Michelle?
Yes.
I noticed that, I went to the Festus website under the document center and found the state audited returns the year ending September of 2024, and then I found these for independent audit for September 2025, which have been our last fiscal year. Our fiscal year goes from October 1 to September 30th. And then I saw that the third part here, the independent, was by the name of a company called Stop at Van Boy. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that's our auditing.
Okay, and I further found, and maybe I'm mistaken, but do they also process as a third party our payroll for the city? Or
No, we do our
do
internal.
it internally?
Yes,
Do
we
they
do it.
provide any other services for the city other than this independent audit?
Just the independent audit
That's
and
all.
the single audit, if we were required to. If we spend over $1 million in federal forfeiture, or federal funds, then we are required to have a single audit.
Okay, and, because I saw that there was a state audit 2 years ago, is there a scheduled time in which the state auditor audits the city, or how's that work?
I am not aware of any state audits, so are you sure it just didn't say Festus Financial,
I thought it said 2024, I thought it said state auditor.
it wasn't a state audit.
Oh, I'm mistaken. So do you know the last time we had a state audit?
Oh, I've been with the city for over 28 years, I have never been through a state audit.
So, no disrespect to you or the mayor, but, there is a provision, in the city attorney can correct me if I'm incorrect, provision 29.225, which the, majority of the council could request to the state that we have a state audit. And the only reason I mention that is because of the activity that happened last week that gathered a lot of news. And in conjunction with being full transparency, I would like to maybe discuss that as a possibility that the council hears.
Which statute?
The statute was 29.225, Missouri statute. And I found that under the Missouri State audit request.
If you do require a state audit, it is gonna be costly, just so that you know.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
We just
I
saved
don't know the cost,
We just saved $40,000
Yes.
over there.
I contacted a Brittany, from the, Office of Missouri State Auditor, and they said that if the, council votes in favor of an audit, that doesn't cost us anything, so.
Oh, it does
There you
No.
go.
Just one email that I received that information on, okay?
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Rick. Woo!
Yes, Brian, go ahead.
So I'm just looking at the statute that Councilman Belleville cited. It relates to an audit that is requested either by the auditor, the auditor's office itself, or when requested by the prosecutor, attorney, secretary, or other law enforcement agency as part of an investigation into improper government activity. There may well be another statute that provides a process similar to what Councilman Belleville has provided, but it's not in this statute. Further, I would suggest, since it's not on the agenda tonight, perhaps that's a topic for a future work session to be placed on an agenda at an upcoming meeting.
Okay, so are we, on our agenda, are we in the process of approving the audited or not approving the audit, or where are we at?
You do not have to have a voter approval from the council, it's just
Okay.
an acknowledgement to put in the official minutes.
Okay, because I'm not that fast of a reader with these financials. I used to be a controller and, did, financial stuff, and I need more than the Friday afternoon that I received it to today to look into it and maybe just do some simple calculations myself to see for variances. It's just for me. I wish that we could get our agendas sent out 7 days in advance, so I'd have some time during the week to chew on it a little bit.
Yes.
Rick, just so that you know that we did get the first draft of the audited financial statements on Friday, I believe, March 27th. I had to get those out to the state.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I know we're coming in, where previous council members maybe had access to it and I didn't. So I respect that. I'm just making a statement that I need a little time to understand everything.
And hopefully, this year I did include, starting on page 3 to page 40, my analysis of the financial statements. It does give some 10-year history trends on real estate, personal property, sales tax, that kind of thing. So hopefully that will help.
Right. It's a lot of information.
Yes, it is.
It's a lot.
Councilman, what if we did this? What if we discuss it and discuss the audit? My belief is, or my thought is, what if we're gonna get a city administrator, pretty much, we all agree with that. What if we get a city administrator in place, we have a work session, we get a city administrator, and then we can discuss this and dive deeper in, because, sorry, I've never been involved with state audits for free, just never, I'm not opposed to it, I think it'd be a good idea. But I think if we get a good city administrator here, and we'd like to schedule a work session right away, then we have time to discuss it, and dive deeper.
And I think that
Well, the reason I say that, because, staff's been under scrutiny, pretty good.
Sure.
We're starting to see some mistakes, honestly, so I think we need a city administrator. I strongly encourage, let's get done, real quick, since you guys are part of it, then we can schedule a work session, and really dive into this and figure it out. Instead of just making a decision tonight, or next council meeting, we don't have all the information. Our city administrator can dive in, get the cost, get how the agendas work, make sure we're not missing bills, because a lot of times it doesn't have bills fault, and then we can dive deeper into the work session.
I just don't know if we gotta get on, I don't know if we have to get on a waiting list with the state, how you make an appointment with somebody to come to your house, and you're like, well, they're 3 weeks out, or 2 months out.
You normally do it unless it's a signature requirement, and then they'll come like, the city of Arnold, they were up there for quite a while, that audit could happen. So we would, unless, and there's a charge, so the city administrator can coordinate that, and it could take a little bit, but they would come in and do it, and we get to recess button and start.
But we don't trade candidates for office. If we need an audit, we make an agenda, we approve the spending, and we get it. We've offered the public to sit down at any time with Michelle and go over the last 10 years of audits that they've done. So we have nothing to hide in an audit. I don't know anything about a state audit, as far as calling them or even call them to you. But I don't think it's a bad idea. We just gotta figure out procedurally how to do it, how to approve the funding, where to go, who to go to. But I don't see it as a problem. It'd just be a good thing, just to say, hey, look, we are doing a good job.
There's different audits.
Right, and I don't know anything about it.
There's different kinds of audits that we do, so that's why we have discussions. And the cost center. I say, let's get it done.
We can put that into a work session before the next meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Next thing we have on the agenda is the city treasurer appointment. You've already heard. Yes, Brian, go ahead.
I just want to give some background on this. So, as a preliminary matter, treasurer in many, not most cities, is usually an appointed position rather than an elected position. The city clerk is typically in charge of handling the notification of the county clerk election authority for upcoming elections. My understanding is this particular election was the first election cycle where the treasurer seat was up, in which our current city clerk was employed with the city. The error in not notifying the county clerk was realized on January 27th, which is the deadline to notify the city clerk. And it's several weeks after the deadline in our ordinances, which requires a notice to be published in the newspaper of general circulation prior to the opening of filing candidates. So we were past that by a considerable amount. State law and the city code doesn't really have a defined remedy in this case. And under the Missouri Constitution, Article 7, Section 12, Ms. Eisenbeis, as the current treasurer, continues to hold the seat until her successor is appointed and qualified. I believe a review of the city records has shown that at least since 2012, no other person other than Ms. Eisenbeis has even filed to run for the office of treasurer. So she'll continue to hold that until her successor is appointed and qualified. What appointing Ms. Eisenbeis to this new term would do is effectively trigger the special election requirement in April of 2027, so that we can fill the unexpired term of the treasurer. Otherwise, she will just continue to hold it until someone's appointed indefinitely, until the new election could be held in April of 2028. I think typically the issue has been getting someone to run for this position. And if there's someone else who's interested in running for it, I don't think there's any special urgency we have to go with tonight, as long as Lori's not gonna resign on this or anything like that. But that's kind of how we are, where we are.
What about the definition of what she does? She doesn't control the purse strings of the city.
It's not a policy-making position, no.
No. She has no vote.
To your point, yeah, it's typically an appointed position by the mayor and the council, and you guys could decide to change it moving forward to being something that's appointed by the mayor and council if you so choose, or you can keep it an elected position.
Missy, it was kind of a mistake. You can get posted in time, and here we are.
It's human error.
Hey.
I just wanted to take accountability for doing this. It was genuinely a mistake on my part, mine only. And it's just, I did everything that I did the year before, and I missed one thing, and I truly am sorry. And I spoke to Lori, it's completely my fault. And it was genuinely a mistake. So, an error. So, just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Brian, if we, the council, mayor makes a recommendation, council approves it, it triggers the election in April 2027.
Right, so the position isn't even technically vacant yet. What reappointing her would do is essentially make the position vacant and then immediately filled by the new appointee. So, because she's serving over her term, so she can be replaced.
But it's on the ballot in April 2027.
It's on the ballot in April 2027. That's just to be clear, that April 2027 is, our ordinance says that when there is a vacancy in an elected office, there, with the advice and consent of the council, can fill the appointment, and there will be an election at the next general April municipal election date. So that's why it's a year out. I mean, in an ideal world, it would obviously be sooner, but that's what the ordinance says.
Can I ask Brian a question?
Sure.
So if we table this and put an ad in the paper like we do for some other Festus jobs, and someone reached out, or several people reached out about the position. In other words, we would say if we had an error, we are wanting to post this position, give some sort of brief job description. And if in 30 days you had like 2 or 3 people that would say, yeah, I really want to sign up for that, how would that proceed?
Well, as I mentioned, there's not a process set out in state law, so it would just be essentially a matter of seeing who out there is interested and qualified. And if someone else is out there and wants to do it, there's nothing stopping. And it's ultimately the mayor's determination to make a nomination, and then a majority of you would need to support that for an appointment to be made. Ms. Eisenbeis would continue to hold the spot until the appointment's been made, unless she were to resign or something like that. Sure. But no, there really, you could do this any number of different ways, and if it's something where The mayor wants to meet with some people to get a comfort level about whether they're interested. As I said, in the past, the issue has just been getting anyone to file. So there may be interest out there in serving the position, there may not be.
That was my suggestion, is that we put it in the paper and take a look.
The leader.
I will, entertain a motion to appoint Lori Eisenweiss as the treasurer. Motion's been made. Second.
Mayor, I have a question.
Sure.
Brian, if the motion's made and doesn't pass, then she removes the position? Because if I understand you correctly, by default right now, she would table it. She is the acting treasurer and roles filled until we get the applicants. And then the mayor, by statute, makes a recommendation, and then the council either says yea or nay, correct?
Two things, I guess. Right now, there's a motion on the floor. There's a second on the motion, will die. To your point, under the Missouri Constitution, she holds her seat until her successor is elected or appointed and qualified. So she will have that. There won't really, I guess, be a true vacancy unless she were to resign.
Not hearing a second, the motion dies. So Lori, continue to, be the treasurer.
Need a motion to table it, right?
Yeah, we should probably have a motion to table this.
I make a motion to table it. Second, so we get a chance to work it out.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. This is tabled. Moving right along, old business. Do we have any?
No, sir.
Mayor and council reports. Councilman Boyer.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I wanted to congratulate the four new councilmen. A lot of responsibility comes with the job, as you guys know. None of us take it lightly. We try to do the best we can. We have an old infrastructure of water lines, a lot of the parts of town that they're working on currently, the water department. I think they're doing a pretty good job. It's a continual replacement of the lines and valves. And I understand after speaking with Mike Christopher here that these street cuts, when they're all finished, everything's done, and they'll be concreted in, so it will get better in due time. So that's all I have, sir.
All right, thank you. Councilman McCarthy. All right, thank you. Councilman Dennis.
Now, I just gotta say, it's okay to disagree, but we don't spit on people when they're at the store. We don't harass families. We don't scratch cars, police cars. This is not part of the process. It's not guaranteed by any freedom of speech. And this troubles me, because every one of these things that I've said has happened. So that's gotta stop. It's gotta stop.
Yes. Police report.
Yeah, police report, please. They don't have a police report. They were so intimidated, so it didn't happen. So they were so intimidated by it, they didn't make a police report.
The police were intimidated?
So I made the statement, we don't spit on people, you agree?
Police cars.
We don't scratch cars.
We've never done that.
I'm just saying, we don't do it.
We don't do that.
Somebody did. Somebody did, I didn't say you did. I'm making a statement. It troubles me to watch a woman cry because a mistake was made in her position. She didn't do anything wrong. I don't know who did it, but for Christ's sake, it shouldn't happen. And that's where we're gonna leave.
We agree.
Yeah, what about homes next to data
What about the
center?
houses?
What about those people that cried?
Yep.
Let the public decide on public matters.
Well, you're spitting on the people that are losing their homes.
Okay, I'm gonna finish what I have to say. So, Mr. Teeple's back there, we had 241 tickets in the last little under a month and 313 stopped. That's the traffic patrol that we put in. year or so ago, so that's working out real well. So, other than that, I don't have anything else, sir.
All right, thank you, Councilman Cook.
Thank you. I'd like to know in the agreement for construction there.
Can't hear you.
In the agreement for the user, they're supposed to use South Park Creek Road, but I would like to see us do an ordinance, because if we don't have an ordinance in place that limits what chief can do to the police department and pounds, Campbell Cemetery, CC, and then roads are getting torn up bad, trucks and stuff. So I'd like to talk to you about that, if we can have, if you can look into it, have an ordinance drafted pretty soon. I'd like to have council discuss it, where it's an ordinance, we have light in the ordinance, and then it can be enforceable. Again, I'm worried about construction, trucks, vehicles, cars, just tearing up that road. It's not for it. If we can also look at some possible stop signs as well, during the process, just doing it that way, please. And then, thank you. And Josh, when's the splash pad gonna be open?
Will be Memorial Day to Labor Day. That's what our permit will allow. 1 week before Memorial Day to a week after Labor Day.
I'd like to throw out the city administrative process, like to hopefully get started pretty soon, so we can get some administrator on board, clean some things up. Cheaper involved ladder truck, and you're not ready yet. You said we're 36 months out on the ladder truck getting ordered, so just keep it on your radar. And Michael, back to you again, the gentleman who spoke, who has the visual disabilities. We look at that, so we can do an overlapping, just so we can make sure we're doing good.
We did receive the federal funding for the Safe Streets for All grant, and right now we're currently waiting on FHWA to send us the contract so that we can select a consultant to get started. That'll take into consideration the sidewalk connection as well as ADA transition plans, which typically, the city as a whole is gonna be reviewed in this. And so all of those spots he's talking about, although a few of them were MoDOT, those are all worth sending over to MoDOT liaison. But the other spots in town that he mentioned, that those will be reviewed with transition plan in those reports.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Councilman Wakely.
I had nothing at this time.
Thank you. Councilwoman Templeton.
Michelle, I just want to thank you for the report. I love that you break it all down. You know, the numbers are my thing, but breaking it into piece by piece, because it is a very complicated, extensive budget. It's not a checkbook register.
Right.
So being able to see the overage is the money that's still sitting, money that we've actually been able to make on money that needs to be set for reserves is important. So I appreciate that. I know that it's a massive task, so thank you for all of that.
Thank you. Councilman Moore.
I am grateful to be here on this city council. And grateful that Ward 3 put their trust in me. I do want to address the data center issue, just real briefly, real quick here. As I walked to almost 800 homes through my campaign, I was consistently heard was the lack of transparency. It wasn't so much the data center, which there's issues with that, the lack of transparency. To the extent discussions, decisions of supporting materials were handled, including in closed sessions, I believe it's our obligation to start bringing some of that information to the light as legally possible, I do want to address some of the statements that Bob Clark made today about inviting the new councilmen to talk to them. I would actually like to reverse that and invite him here to answer questions from us publicly, not behind closed doors.
Yeah.
I've already requested to the media, and we're requesting it now, that Mr. Clark come before this council at a public meeting to answer questions directly. The council represents the people of Festus, and this discussion should take place here in the public. He said today, if we do not win favor from enough people, the project will not happen. And I would like to ask more questions around that statement itself. I would like to work with Brian and perhaps put some things on future agendas here to bring to light and to make things public regarding this deal. And also answer any questions. Is there any alternative here? Pause, delay, or repeal of this agreement? So I would like to bring that, I'd like to have those questions answered publicly with Brian. I'll work with you. I'll send you an email. But
Happy to do it. Thank you.
Wonderful. But I think it's important we finally bring transparency back to this council, and I appreciate this, and I appreciate the mayor and everyone else. I look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I wanted to address Leah Smith. Leah, I appreciate you giving us the information. I've been in a situation when I was a young person like you and be pulled all kinds of different directions. I can only imagine that it's been a little bit out of the ordinary this first quarter of the year and going forward, and I truly understand how things can get overlooked. And I have been in your position in a different field, and I know how hard it is to come and say what you said. I really appreciate that. Secondly, one of the things I want to bring forward to, I guess, a future agenda is I'm really getting tired of hearing Festus sunshine law violation. Festus sunshine law violation. So what I want to put on a future agenda is that the Missouri statute 610.020, which is commonly known as sunshine law, that we, us four new councilmen and the balance of the council, that we would go with something like Missouri Municipal League, where they offer sunshine law training, where you get a CEU and it's certified. So I need to bring that in a future agenda, that's the process, but I would like to go through it myself, and I would at some point want to make it a motion that we vote on to do that. The other thing is, I don't know if the council in general needs help put the agenda together. I'm more than willing to step up and help that process so it can happen faster. I know with the planning and zoning folks, we get that agenda 2 weeks, sometimes a little more sooner. And I would like to see us moving forward to get our city council agendas out at least 7 days in advance. There's so much information that you guys have to deal with, and some is kind of automatic with you because you've been doing it so long. It's not automatic with me. And so I would hope that we could get that system going so we can get out a little bit quicker. It'll give us a little bit more time. And if you need my help, I'm willing to help to do whatever it is, how that process works. That's all.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Rick, there is a training for new council people.
Yes, there is, and we have it right here. That's Mayor Bruce. It's a 2-day conference in Columbia, Missouri for newly elected officials. And I would highly encourage that you all go to.
All of you, we would like to.
We've been there several times. Okay.
Mayor, Brian had something for you. Brian had something for you, Brian.
I'll just echo that I encourage all the newly elected officials to attend the elected officials training. I'll actually be speaking on that Thursday, June 11th. Encourage all of you to attend. I believe you can attend by Zoom too. Also, when I was addressing the treasurer situation earlier, I should have said that communicating the election announcement to the city clerk's office is one of the many duties of the city clerk. I just wanted to applaud her on the job she's done. Tremendous pressure without city administrator. Very difficult for you.
Okay. Now it's my turn. First thing I would like to say is that I want to thank Jim Collier for his 4 years on the council, Brian Winger for his 11 years on the council, Bobby Vins for 6 years on the council, and Jim Tenen for 16 years on the council. They did a good job the whole time they were on the council. We'll all work together to make things better for the city of Festus. And we'll see what happens.
What's that mean?
I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.
Did you hear any of the council members vote the new council members in?
Nope.
Because I didn't hear the mayor say it or any of the council members. That's why they don't get respect.
Yeah, Alan, you don't get to work with me, I'm not going to work with you. I'm coming tonight and that's right. Me too. Good job,
See you later, pretty
bye, honey. Take care. Hi, friend. I don't know. I don't know what the hell my husband's gotten into. I'm not sure any stuff. I know that.
You just went through that exit door right here.
Right here.
Right here.
Oh my
on the
God,
wall.
my knee.
Is that Jesus?
How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Congrats.
Doing a good job.
Oh,
Thanks.
thank you. Trying to.
Yeah. Well, let me count.
Yeah, that's all we can do. And like, words of Carl Wilson, you must vote.
That's right.
You gotta vote.
If you don't vote, you don't get a voice.
Hey, don't vote, kick.
That's right. Bye, guys.
Thanks for getting him to do that.
He's been this is his third year.
Yeah.
Right now. So, you know, and has not been.
That's not that town hall.
Yeah. And he's worked for the city. He knows the funny bits. Uh-huh. You have to go. Mackenzie's gonna
Yeah. Did she reach out to you?
We did. She did. She said she would just wait to hear from us.
Okay.